Sir, good afternoon, and good afternoon to all the gatherings. Uh, so, first of all, I thank OSI 2022 for inviting me to express my views on oil spill. And I have chosen a topic on waste management. Actually, this waste management is the last link of oil spill response or oil spill response facilities. So, we'll be discussing first what will be the response in oil spill, and then how we'll be managing it in the last leg. So, hopefully, the gathering will be helping me to present this information. Next. Okay. I have the controls with me. So the overview of this presentation is we'll be discussing on the source of oil pollution, the complete source, not only the spill condition or the accidental spill, then response structure, then weathering process of waste management, then our main topic comes with spilled oil mass balance, where the spilled oil is going and which part and where. Then the statistical analysis of waste generated in the past, or past incidents. Then we'll be discussing of two case studies. And in the last, the hypothesis, whether we can move on with these studies or in this link. So this is the sources of oil pollution. It is, as you can see in the picture, it's a complete one. Not only the transportation, not only the exploration and oil and gas industries, it includes air pollution, whatever the sources of oil that is coming from air pollution, it is going to the sea and it is getting deposited. So that percent is also 4.2%. So the major of it, it's from the natural oil seepage, that is 47.3%. For offshore operations, it is 2.9%. And now, at present, in OSI, what we are discussing is the accidental spills, and it is depicted as 9.8%. So here in our conference at OSI 2022, we are targeting this 9.8%. So if there is an accidental spill, we need to respond quickly so that we can contain those accidental spill to prevent them harming our natural resources. So this is the response, and as you can see in the picture, it is a very simpler form of it. Only three elements are depicted here: dispersion, burning, and skimming. And in this gathering, everyone can say that this response is not that simple as it is depicted in this picture. So let's go to the next picture. So this was a picture given, schematics picture given by Bureau of Safety and Environmental Standards Enforcement, USA. And this has something more than that in the earlier one, because it's include in situ burning, mechanical recovery, and then dispersion spraying. There are two types of booms. So still we need to get more into it, that how the oil spill response is done. So then the next picture, this is from ITOPF. So this states who is who at oil spills. So it includes all the stakeholders, and including the major portion that we have included here is, in earlier slides we have shown only the offshore, and in this slide you can very well define that it is including onshore as well as offshore. So both of them are here, and it is including the cleanup contractors, surveyors, volunteers, local community, all of them are included, not only the response facility from the expert agencies. But then this is the schematic one. So I'll just give another view of this link. So here we have, for the oil spill response, this is the structured way of doing oil spill response, and this was given in ITOPF tip number 10, that is technical information paper number 10, and it is showing each link of oil spill response. So there is a series of activities of oil spill response. And in the end, if you can see the red mark, the red circle into it, so this red circle were the waste. Waste of the oil spill, what the spill has happened and the waste has generated. So in the technical information paper number 7, that is cleanup of oil, it is said that experience has shown the most costly and time-consuming component of the overall oil spill response is the treatment of disposal of collected waste. And here my point is, like, when we are saying that it is most costly and when we are saying that it is time-consuming, so why only the waste is depicted here under operations? Should it not be planned under logistic? Should it not be planned under finance? Should it not be coming under the planning of resources under that section? So this was my way of thinking at this point of time. So as we have discussed that there is a chain of series of links that is forming the chain and that is forming the response of oil spill. So how vulnerable we are with this? So there is a small joke kind of a thing here of the company. The company is only as strong as it is the weakest employee is. So it says, I love doing business with them. Everyone I talk to is so nice and helpful. It's a good part. Then the next is, well, I must have got the one guy who doesn't know how to be nice or helpful. I am never going back. So this is a company's reputation. If a small link is going broken down, then the company's reputation is gone. Then we are again back with our waste generation process. This is the weathering process. It includes evaporation, emulsification, biodegradation, dispersion, dissolution. We'll be discussing it all in details because these are the process where our final waste of oil spill will cover up. So this is the spilled oil mass balance. And this was taken from lots of researches done by CEDRE. And they have gathered all the information from past incidences. Based on that incidences, they could able to depict if 1,000 ton of oil is spilled, and out of which that is 300 ton will be evaporated. And after evaporation, 500 will be left out and 200 ton will be dispersed. And then comes the boom, that is recovery part, mechanical recovery part, the containment booms. What we are saying that oil spill responders must have those booms, the offshore booms, the online shore link booms, the absorbent booms. So here the mechanical recovery comes. But first two are natural part. And here only of the 500, only 100 ton is we are able to recover from manual recovery. This is the reduction part. Now comes the incremental part, the emulsification. A 400 metric ton or 400 ton of oil, when it is spilled in ocean, the emulsification will make it increase to up to 1,100 ton. And if suppose we are not able to contain that within the offshore area, and if it hits the shore, then you can see how much damage it can cause. 15,000 metric ton of waste will be generated if it hits the shoreline. So similar with the case with the deep water horizon, 37% of it, oil, its evaporation, dissolution, dispersion is taken care of. And the researchers have studied that emulsification can increase the pollutant amount by up to 5 times, and if it reaches the shore, the waste oil can increase up to 10 times. This is the statistical analysis of waste generated in the past. So the amount of waste material generated during the incident, I have like set up the graph in a such a way that oil spilled from left to right hand side will continuously be increased. But the red portion, that is the waste generated in each spill, is varied. Depends on the amount of manual intervention, depends on the amount of weather conditions, depends on the amount where the spill has occurred. Is it in offshore, completely away from the land, or it is near to the shore? So these will vary. So a fundamental problem exists that if waste disposal in the oil spill cleanup is like it increased to 10 times if it hits the shore. So from this graph, we can highlight that importance of developing a proactive waste management strategy. This is the case study of Erica, and there is a reason behind why I have selected it, because I am saying that the waste generated from the spilled oil is about 10 times. So it is one of the most ideal case where the waste generated is almost 10 times. It is more than that, but it is 10 times than that. This Erica laden with 31,000 tons of heavy fuel oil, moving from France to Italy, and in 12 December 1999, it broke. Spilled oil quantity was 19,800 tons. And after 12 days, we have spent 12 days to contain that within sea, but after 12 days it hit. And there was a reason behind that, because the weather was very bad during that time. The 400 kilometers of coast was affected. Then first stored in these waste when collected, it is first stored in 40 intermediate storage and transferred to 4 long-term storage sites, that is Total Refinery, Frosse, RQ1 and 2. And this waste treatment after collection started in April 2001. And it completed in May 2004, that is 4 years. And it cost up to 72 million euros. So when we are thinking of waste collection and treatment, the cost of treatment here, I think we are not able to say that if such an amount of economy is involved, so aren't we using natural resources for it? Is it like always we need to take all of the waste and treat manually? So then the ratio of the waste spilled here is like the oil to waste generated, it's 10 times. Then everyone is talking about deep water horizon. Yes, it's very true. It's such a case that in each topic, in each incidences, wherever we go for oil responses, there is a learning from deep water horizon. Here also. In the case of Erica, the waste generated was 10 times, almost more than 10 times. But in deep water horizon cases, the ratio is 0.3. The waste generated was less than what the oil spill occurred. So here in 4.9 million barrels of oil was spilled in sea, but in the as per this, that landfills that have received is 40,000 tons of oily solids, only 40,000 tons. And these landfills, other thing is like, are not hazardous waste landfill. These are municipal waste landfills. And this information, what I have received, is not from the oil spill research paper data. This was from one of the NGOs who was working for the Black Americans Living Standard. And this NGO name is Color Lines. So this was given by the NGO because that wherever these municipal landfills were searched, they were on the background of Black Americans living. So I'm not contesting those things, but I'm saying is the quantity of waste generated is not able to handle by the hazardous waste sites. These waste has to be dumped on the municipal sites as well. So now the natural resources that have been used, the accounts of spilled in case of Deepwater Horizon is naturally disposed is 16%, chemically disposed, that is what we are responding to, it's only 8% of it. Skimmed only 3% of it. Burned only 5% of it. So where is the rest of the oil has been gone? Where it is? What is the position of that? So there was one research paper, it's valuing nature waste removal in offshore. And that's a good one. It's taken care of all the spilled oil and how much waste is there. And this includes the residual includes, there is 26% of the residual, it includes collected from remain at shore. So BP has posted 41 billion loss in 2010 solely for Deepwater Horizon incidents. And spent $14 billion directly in response only. And this includes capping of the well and drilling the relief well. So response include wellhead recoveries at 17%. Okay, I have already said that. Then cost of removing this waste is total amount spent upon the oil waste collected. Then this per unit cost is $11,400 per barrel. And oil remaining after cleanup is 65% of it, as per this pie chart. That is 3.185 million barrels. Then value of ecosystem service that we have received for the BP oil degradation, that is done naturally by our ecosystem, is $36.3 billion. We are preparing for so much response, but the natural service is giving much more than what we are preparing for. So learning from the past, the number of factors affecting the amount of waste are beyond the control because the type of oil, location, incident, type of shoreline. So instead with that careful thought, the response actions chosen both at sea and at shoreline. First is the use of dispersant. What BP has done is they have used the dispersant extensively. Much more of it. And due to this reason, not only due to this reason, this is one of the major reasons that the oil spilled to the ratio of waste generated is only 0.3 in case of BP, but it is 10 times in case of Erica, because they have used dispersant very extensively. Then sensible deployment of boom. This boom, they also create a waste in response systems, because after a usage, they are not able to, we are not able to, many a times we are not able to reuse it because of its damaged. So in the deep water, they have used 1.3 million meters of containment booms. And if I compare it with our Indian coastline, so our complete Indian coastline is 7.5 million meters. It's in the west coast, it is 3.3 million meters. So half of that, our west coast, that is 1.3 million meters, they have used for the containment booms. And it all been disposed. They have created a secondary waste there. Then the 2.8 million meters of sorbent booms. So what it was saying that selective recovery of tar balls. In case of Erica, heavy machinery was used to dig out the sand or the soil along with the oil. But in case of BP, they have used a system like selective. They are not digging out completely. They are leaving it to the natural remediation. They will be digging up only where there more than 90% or 85% of the oil is there. They will be taking it to the landfill. Otherwise, most of the thing was remain there for the natural biodegradation. So this has also reduced the quantity of waste in case of BP. So only 25% in spilled oil in deep water was removed using $14 billion. And natural removal of spilled oil saved BP over $35 billion. So this is my last slide and hypothesis. If waste is causing so much difficulties, or this is the most time consuming, that is in case of Erica, it has taken 4 years for treatment of those waste, and it's most costliest. So do we need to have a more planning in beforehand while starting the response to manage the waste? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mondal. So it was very nicely highlighted, the waste management, which plays a crucial role in the oil spill response, because if we are not responding in time, then we end up with a situation where the volume of waste is increasing multiple times, and that is not increasing the cost, but also burdening the ecosystem, and it can be very dangerous for the future. So it was, I think, it was really very big learning experience for me through your presentation, and I believe that this is going to help many of the participants here to prepare for the response and plan for their activities. Because when we are planning our operations, we have to also take care of this type of contingencies for planning.
Oil Spill India 2022 is dedicated to the Honorable Prime Minister's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and Clean Seas.